Hi lovelies, welcome to my YouTube channel, and as you all know, this is Amara and you are with Talk with Amaar. I'm a Port Harcourt based YouTuber here in Nigeria, and if this is your first time of seeing my face, please do me well by hitting the subscribe button. Don't make it your last. Come on guys, hit the subscribe button, and if you have been on this channel, thank you so much for the support. You're welcome, you are appreciated, and you are the best. In fact, you are the reason why I take out my time in creating this amazing content and videos. And on today's episode of Talk with Amaar, we're going to be continuing our series on Before You Love. The first series on Before You Love was to heal before you deal, and so the second series on Before You Love is to find yourself. Today we're going to be talking about finding yourself before you love, finding yourself before you venture into a new phase of your life. Before you love, find yourself. A wise man once said, "Man, know thyself. An unexamined life is not worth living." And that is Socrates. That's what he said. An unexamined life, a life you do not find, a life you do not know, is not worth living. A life you know nothing about is not worth living. And finding life is finding you. You are the life. You watching this video, you watching me right now, you are the life. So finding life means finding you, because you are all that matters in life. You are all there is to making this your own life worth living. You are the major character in the scene of your own life, in the scene of your own journey. You're the major character. So finding you means finding life. So if someone should ask you a question, who are you? Who are you watching this video? I mean, who are you listening to me? What would be your response? What would you say? I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Amara, you know what? I'm a beautiful, tall, intelligent girl." Okay, well, I'm confident. I am what do I'm intelligent, I'm confident, I am outspoken, I'm bold, I'm this, I'm that. That is not who you are. Those are the characteristics of who you are. Those are the attributes of who you are. People always think that the characteristics of who they have become is actually who they are. No, you are bold. That is an attribute of who you are. You are smart. That is a characteristic of who you are. So you see, who are you is different from the exhibits, what you exhibit as a character, what you exhibit as a personality. They are two different things. And most of the times, who we are, it's not a one-stop thing. So someone tells you, okay, this is who I am. It's not a one-stop thing. You have to go through a lot of experiences in finding yourself. Yes. And experiences are not a one-off thing. You keep going through experiences every day. Every 24 hours of the day has its own experience. Every 24 hours of the day has different lessons, different views, different things it brings to you. So you have to go through all the experiences. And most times, realistically, we can go through life without actually having one word to say, this is who we are. At the end of it, we are all human beings with different experiences, personality, perception, DNA. So there is just no one word for it. There is no one word for okay, this is me, because it's a roller coaster. Life keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. A found you would love better is the truth. A found you will be confident enough to love better. In finding you, you need to find what your purpose is. What do you like the most? What do you dislike? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your temperaments? It will interest you to know. A lot of people go through life without even knowing all of these things. And you see, if you do not find yourself, you can never find your niche. You can never find your strength. You can never find that thing that gives you your why to keep living in life. Yes, a found you will love better. A found you comes with a level of confidence, a level of courage, because you have found you have found what you like to do, you have found the kind of things you can tolerate, the things you can deal with, the things you can live with. It gives you this sense of awareness. A found you is more aware, more confident, more bold, and stronger to take on anything that comes in life. A found you will know how to love a person. A found you would know how to maximize opportunity. A found you would grow. I mean, if you are not found, if you don't find yourself, how do you want to grow? Because for you to grow, you need to take conscious efforts and conscious steps towards progressing, in progressing into what you have found about yourself. Finding yourself could mean you leaving your comfort zone. In fact, most of the times when you need to find yourself, you have to leave your comfort zone. So in finding yourself, you have to be vulnerable to your loved ones. People are so uptight. And that's why we have lots of hypocrites, lots of deceptive people, because people are so uptight. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be judged. Then you're not ready to grow. For you to find yourself, you have to be vulnerable to your loved ones, especially the genuine loved ones who care about you and who are interested in your growth and who would help you. See, some of the mistakes I made in finding myself was because I didn't open up to people. In my previous video, I spoke about how I isolated myself from a lot of people who would have really helped my process, and I lost them. I don't have access to them because I isolated myself, and I didn't let them into my world to tell them excuse me, to let them know what I was going through. And so they judged me for something I was not, and they all moved on, and I don't have access to them. If you want to find yourself, you have to have some level of vulnerability towards people who care about you, people around you. You need to learn before you can find. You need to learn. Someone has to teach you. Someone has to hold you by the hand. Nobody is too small to teach you. I have had the biggest lessons coming from people who are way younger than me. I've had the biggest lessons coming from people I didn't even expect I would learn something from. Anyone can be a tool to finding you, and that's why you need to be open up yourself to learning. A stagnant water stinks. If you are always alone, isolated, you will stink. People will move on, people will leave you. Yeah. And then for you to find yourself, you have to do things that you ordinarily would not, you ordinarily wouldn't do. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to go the extraordinary. You have to do things you don't do. You have to pay the price. You have to push yourself. A found you would love better. The person you have found about you, the you that you have found will love better. The you have found will have a lot to offer to your significant other. And the you have found will have so much to offer to the world at large. You don't want to go through life without living a life of impact. Inspire people. Inspiring people starts with your significant other. If you are in a relationship where the other person doesn't inspire you, you know what to do. I mean, that's a question mark there. Your inspiration starts with the people around you. You know what they say, charity begins at home. People always think that to make an impact starts with standing on a podium and addressing 1 million people. No, address the person you live with, address your family, address your kids, make an impact on your kids, make an impact on your church member, your place of work, your colleague, your significant, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever it is. Make an impact from the small niche before you move to the bigger niche. And there are so many ways to find you. Again, a found you will love better. Know yourself. know yourself. It's when you've known yourself, you can know who you are compatible with. You will know your principles. You would know your boundaries. You would know how to behave. You would know how to manage issues in life. You will also know how to really relate. Find yourself. Find yourself. If you don't find yourself, you're just going to go through life and without even enjoying the essence of living it. Again, man, know thyself. An unexamined life is not worth living at all. It's like wasting it, because you would never appreciate it. And there are so many ways of finding yourself, and I'm just going to mention a few. Number one way of finding yourself, or the first way of finding yourself, is through prayers. The prayer of inquiry. Only God knows who we are. God is the only person who knows who you are. The Bible said He knows the end of a thing from the beginning thereof. He knows you. We are made in His own image. So He's the only one that knows you. God. Recently, God had to convict me of how I handled a situation wrongly. When you pray, God answers. God will tell you how, where, when, Pray a prayer of inquiry. God, who am I? God, how do I handle this issue? God will certainly answer you. Pray a prayer of inquiry. The second way to finding yourself is read books. Read books. When you read books, you're simply traveling through the lens of the author, and an author who has gone ahead of you, or who has had experiences that you have not had. Read books. Read books in the area of concern, that area you are certain in. Read books. That is how to find yourself. The first time I knew my temperament was through a book. When I was growing up, I was judged. I had a terrible childhood experience that costed me my life. Costed me my life. My childhood traumas almost costed me my life. And one of the traumas I had to deal with was my personality. I was judged for my personality. I was constantly compared with my sister. I was constantly compared with other kids and all. Do you know how I knew me? I read a book in my first year in school, and Why You Behave the Way You Do by Tim Lahaye, and also his wife Beverly Lahaye. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Why You Behave the Way You Do, and the Holy Spirit Controlled Temperament. After I read that book, from that day till Jesus comes, I shut my ears to criticism. Anyhow people judge me, I really don't care, as long as I know I didn't do anything bad to you. It's my personality, it's who I am. It also builds my confidence level. So you see, I found myself, and because I already know my temperament, I also know who and the kind of people that should be in my space. And it also helps me to love better, because I know my strength, I know what I can do, I know my weaknesses, and I can also tell when someone is accusing me wrongly or rightly. So you see, read books to find yourself. So that's just one example of how finding myself and reading books has really helped me. Another way of finding yourself is to associate with great minds. Look, even the Bible said evil company corrupts good manners. You need to associate with people with great minds, people who are well exposed, well expanded, well read, vast, well traveled. That's the way to find yourself, because you learn from them. They also see certain things in you, and they tell you and help you to be better. Associate with great friends. If you have 3 great people, be rest assured you're the 4th person. If you have 3 stupid people, be rest assured you're the 4th stupid person in the making. Another way of finding yourself is to spend time alone. Your alone time is not a lonely time. Look, the best of me emerged in my alone times. In fact, the inspiration to start up a YouTube channel came in the time of my wilderness, like when I was alone. When you are alone, you reflect, you meditate, and you are in sync with yourself. You are in peace with yourself. Whenever you're alone, you are gaining mastery about yourself. You are building a bond with yourself. Learn to be alone. I see people who friends. At the end of the day, they are lost. They don't even know who they are. Spend time alone. It's in the moments when you're alone that the universe communicates to you. God visits you when you're alone. Go and read the Bible. Everyone who had an encounter in the Bible were alone. Abraham was visited when he was alone. Jacob was visited when he was alone. Even Jesus himself was visited when he was alone. Mary was visited when she was alone. Elizabeth, all of them were visited when they were alone. Spend time alone. It will amaze you that the weirdest and the biggest ideas that has come to my head were moments where I was alone. Spend time every day. Take out 5 minutes. Spend time being alone at your place of work. Detach yourself from people. Stay for the 5 minutes. Spend it with yourself. Your alone times are not your lonely times. Stop equating being alone with loneliness. No. Loneliness is different from being alone, and you need to be alone, because the truth of the matter is life is about you. In fact, there's this adage in Nigeria. We always say life na per head. Whether you find love, whether you marry to the best person, or God vomited your spouse and gave it to you, life na per head. There are moments, most of the time, you have to be alone and go through your own shit yourself. Even if you have your significant other, there are things you must go through alone. So if you have not mastered the skill of being alone, you won't go through those kind of things. Finding yourself means being alone, so that you will not become an emotional burden to your significant other. See, there are so many people who have put the responsibility of being happy on people. Nobody can. Do you know that's the most wicked thing to do? To make someone else responsible for your happiness. People go through a lot of things. People have issues they are dealing with. So you can't be making someone else responsible for your happiness. Be happy for you and by yourself for yourself. And you can only do that when you are in sync with yourself. Learn to spend time with yourself. Learn to enjoy your own company. Learn to be happy for yourself. Learn to enjoy your own space. Your friends will not always be there. Your husband or your wife will not always be there. Your girlfriend or your boyfriend will always be there. People come with their different phases of shit. They can be there today, tomorrow they are gone. Voila, like they are acting like you don't exist. So learn to be in sync with yourself. Commune with yourself. Be at peace with yourself. The more you commune with yourself, the more you love yourself and you're in sync with yourself, the more you discover the inner you, the more you discover who you are called to be, the more you discover your strength, the more your inner self starts to tell you, oh, this is who you are. So these are the few ways to finding yourself. Again, a found you would love better. A found you will love better. Trust me, when you find yourself, it is easy to grow. It is easy to grow with your lover. It's easy to grow with your spouse. When you find yourself, it's easy to take on risk. It's easy to take on opportunities. You won't be scared. You will have all it takes. You will be courageous and you'll be confident to face life. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button. Ensure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have watched to this moment. And until next time, my name is Amara and this is Talk with Amaar. I love you.